city, I dug a ditch to lay up and to flush away the free-range boys and shit. The white radicals devoured to protest the colonial past. Three blind cotton nails stuck to their ass. At Palmerston and Ruby Street, before their very eyes, they dug themselves one hell of a surprise. The poison bones the workers found were dated early Holocene. You're nothing but the bottom of some far future latrine. My little libertine, that's your universe in a nutshell. That's our universe in a nutshell. My friends don't fare thee well. I see skies of blue, I see clouds of white, bright blessed day, dark sacred night. You can't bring me down with your acerbic online wet. Call before you dig. The city dug the ditch, a few feet short of some game changing petroglyphs.
Out there. As you heard me say earlier, I also host a podcast about the Winnipeg band Propagandy, and Dylan was on that podcast for the episode that we made on the song called Funeral Procession. And was it 2021? It must have been, because it was like episode 50 something. So it had to have been 2021 when I think I had you on the podcast that one time.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But anyway, had you on the podcast, and then hilariously in October of 2021, when I came to Winnipeg, you picked me up at the airport, which was super awesome.
Dude, I was so pumped. I was like, you don't have a ride yet? Oh, I'm picking you up.
That was, I remember to this day. And we went out to lunch and we drove around and hung out. And you were basically like my first like glimpse into Winnipeg, you know, just seeing you at the airport and getting like picked up. It was awesome. And then like going out and having lunch and actually getting to hang out for real. That was a time when we had to like use the cards to like go into restaurants and stuff. Like it was a crazy time.
Yeah.
But what a great weekend that was for me. My Thanksgiving 2021 weekend in Winnipeg, seeing Propaganda shows and getting to meet you. But there is a blank gap in the episode that you and I made, because we did not talk about what is maybe the world's best Propaganda cover band, the Isolation Booth, on really that much on that episode. So now what I want to do is I want to chat with you about the tunes that you did, what you remember about that process. But I mostly want to talk about Call Before You Dig. So tell me, just give the listeners out there who may not have seen these just kind of a basic overview of what this project was.
Oh man, yeah. So me, my buddy Marty and Kyle Monkman.
Kyle is everywhere, man. Kyle is on every project, I think.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man, and he's a great musician. He's a great friend. He's a great he's a great engineer and you know, a dude that goes around and helps people record music. Like he's a triple threat or quadruple threat. You know, he's also a handsome dude. So that's the fourth thing.
Rock on.
So yeah, we had this like, oh man, I don't even like remember how this happened, but we were talking about, you know, trying to record some tunes and together but apart, and see if we can like release them. And we might have seen other people do it from home as well, because there was a ton of those cover bands.
That time.
Yeah, and it was such a fun thing to do. And we had the equipment, and we had the technology to do it. So me, Kyle, and Marty were like, okay, let's try and like learn some songs, and maybe we'll get like guest spots from people that we know, and that would be really fun to add like a little extra layer to this thing where it's like the three of us, but then every couple of weeks we'll release a song, and we'll have a special guest on. So which I
Mm-hmm.
think was a very similar kind of theme with those cover bands that were
Sure.
online and stuff for during the pandemic and whatnot. So
Yeah, there's like
um,
Mikey and his uke and bands like that. Yeah, cool,
exactly,
cool projects. I love it.
yeah. So the first few that we did, I think, were propagandy tunes, and so Kyle brought over a bunch. Kyle and Marty, brought over a bunch of equipment, in secret, of course, because they had to. And they brought over a bunch of mics and recording gear. And I was able to use my MacBook and use some inputs from Kyle, and actually like put on the song in my headphones, and like hit record, and all the mics were set up properly where we would actually get the recording, like a proper recording of my drums in my basement.
Yeah.
And so that was really fun. So like we were able to set that up, and then once Kyle set that up, it was kind of we were off to the races, because Marty had equipment at home, and so did Kyle, and then thanks to the help from Kyle and Marty, so did I. So we just kind of threw out ideas of what songs we wanted to do, and one of our favorite bands, if not our favorite band, is Propagandy. So we were thinking of a couple Propagandy songs that we wanted to do. So we each did our thing, and we videotaped ourselves. And I think I guess I would have had to record the audio and record the video, and then I would send Dropbox links to Kyle and Marty, and then Marty, with his background in filmmaking and the video and audio, he was able to take the video and cut it, and then Kyle would mix the audio, and then those two, I was kind of like just like along for the ride kind of thing, and all I have to do is play. But those guys were mixing the audio, and then Marty was cutting the video, and so they put in a ton of extra work with that stuff when they did an incredible job at it. But that's how that kind of happened, and then so we did and we had, I don't know if anyone knows this, but we do have Potemkin City Limits done as well, but then we never released it.
Ooh. Come
Yeah,
on. You're killing
I
me.
know, I know. And oh, you're gonna have to help me out with the name. She does all the like the prop acoustic
Jen
covers.
Fiorentino?
She does Potemkin City Limits.
Are you kidding me? You are killing me here. Release the video.
I know. I think Marty has it somewhere, but we
Oh
just
my
never released it.
God.
But we did Potemkin, which
You
was super cool.
Oh
Ah,
God. Oh, I'm having like a situation, my friend, right now. I'm like very upset about this, but very excited about the potential of an unreleased Jen Fiorentino isolation booth cover of Potemkin City Limits. Come on, do it.
yeah, yeah. So I'll have to talk to Marty. Marty's in Calgary right now, and he's recording a television show right now. But I believe he's got the recording, both
Release the
I think we have
video.
the audio. Yeah, for
Even
sure.
if it's only the audio, you got to put that thing out. I don't even care. I
Yeah,
am
I haven't heard it in a while, but I remember when I did hear it, I'm like, oh my God, this is sick.
you realize that I'm not going to rest until this is released in some format. I don't care if it's audio or video or both, but this will come out. It has to.
A blinding ray of light spread across the floor. In a crimson pool, he saw his own reflection as he bolted for the door. Not just some fractured fairy tale.
I'll even reach out to Kyle. Maybe he has a link to it or something like that. I can send it to you.
You got to tell Kyle that this is going to be a problem
Okay,
until it's released.
I'm gonna do this live on the camera right here.
This is
I'm gonna
this is
text
wonderful.
Kyle.
You got to tell him I said hi. first, and then
Okay.
you have to say that I'm very upset about this unreleased Potemkin City Limits Jen Fiorentino cover. Because here's the thing, we're talking about it on a podcast right now, and people are going to hear it, and people are going to be upset, and I'm going to be the leader of that group of angry people being upset. So this is now officially I'm bringing this into the world.
So
Oh,
I just text him, "Hey Kyle, Greg says hello. He wants to hear the Isolation Booth Potemkin City Limits we did with Jen.
yep.
Do you
Yes, he
have it?"
does. Yes. Okay. Well, you can like update me later on that.
Of course.
But this project is awesome, man, because you all have the Marcia and Jen from Mobina Galore who
Hmm.
did Alexis on Fire, the duet, This Could Be Anywhere in the World. Totally rocking,
Unreal.
mind-blowingly good. So good.
Yeah.
Like I thought I loved the Propaganda covers, but then I heard this Alexis on Fire one and I was like, man, this
Yeah.
is this is fabulous. Like they did an amazing job. You all did an incredible job on that project as well. So like I love it. I'm really glad that you all have these little collection of videos. It's just awesome to look back at this time and see these really cool projects that we just like compulsively made because we just needed something to do, you know?
Yeah, like again, like when it comes like going back to like being, using those creative juices and those creative outlets, even if like they weren't songs that we wrote, but like being creative in the sense of how do we make this happen? You record this, I'll mix this, and then we can ask them, and then we'll all come together in this like music community of our friends that we were playing with before, but we were like, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to play again together because we don't know what's happening in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
let's still let's still play music together and share these things together and share them with people who are our friends or whoever else sees them, but who are stuck at home. They're like, oh man, like look, our friends are doing some fun stuff and they can watch it at home and enjoy it. So I think that was really important and it was a ton of fun.
All right. So, Dylan, let's talk about Call Before You Dig. Uh, when I listened to this record, Victory Lap, for the hundreds of times that I've listened to it at this point, Call Before You Dig, always have this niggling feeling in my mind. I'm like, is this like one of the three best songs on the album? Like, I love this
Oh
song
yeah, it's up there.
and it's so good and it's like not talked about anymore. It feels forgotten at this point. Um, but for me, like I stood at the corner of Palmerston and Ruby Street on my visit to
Hmm.
Winnipeg, and I was like, dude, I'm there. Like I now, so now the song not only has like an auditory connection for me, but it has a physical connection for me as well because I was in the spot where
Yep.
the song's setting takes place. So you as a Winnipegger, I'm just curious about your connection with this song, what you like about the song, anything that jumps out at you.
Yeah, that's it's probably a top three on that album for sure. I love just I love the intro of that song and how like those the chugs with the drums and the guitars like just like are synced up so well. And uh I don't know, there's something about I did a little bit of reading about that song when it first came out because that's what I do when new propaganda albums come out. I like have a computer
Gotta.
with me and like the lyrics open. But going back to the music, like that song is uh I don't know, man. Like that, it's up there for one of my favorites on that record, and just the all-encompassing like specific parts of that song when it comes like the intro is so tasty and it just sounds so fat, and
Mm-hmm.
how they put that together and the shots at the start of the verse at Palmerston to Ruby Street,
Oh,
bad ow, like that kind of thing. Like I
yes.
don't know, they have this way of making parts sound fresh. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing groundbreaking, but there's just something like, man, they put those parts in like the perfect spots.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah, the and just the
Yeah.
drums too. Like if I'm watching you play that, like you are all over the kit on this thing. Like this is like a melodic punk song that almost ties in like their mid 90s sound from like Less Talk More Rock, but
Mm,
without going through all of the heavier years where they experimented with so many different styles and just like the ways that their sound has progressed without all the heavier years. and the melodic years from the 90s mixed with like the 2010 stuff of like supporting cast and failed states, you don't get to this sound. You don't become like super melodic, then super heavy, then super melodic but heavy again unless you go through all the eras of Propaganda. Like the way that Jordan the riffs speak together on this tune are very powerful, and I see all eras of this band coming to like a manifestation in this particular song, you know?
Yeah. I guess, yeah, think about the start of the song where there's a lot of like tom work at the start. And
Yeah.
I mean, Jord is just, it's hard to describe like how Jord plays those drums. It's unlike anyone else. So he puts those specific parts in those songs where he like, syncs up with the guitar palm mute parts or just like riffs, and he'll put drums perfectly over those parts, and they completely complement each other.
Yeah.
It's there's just something about his drumming that is, especially thinking about that fat sound. A lot of those drummers, like it's all those drummers were are incredible,
Yeah.
but I've listened to most of those fat bands from that era, and with the like those fast beats with like this fast snare rolls, and and like you know the kind of the drum fills that you hear a lot of those bands do, but you put on a Propaganda record and the drumming is like you it's unmatched.
It feels totally different than all those other
It's
bands.
completely different.
And
Completely.
like I can put on, if I'm my drum kit, I can put on, no effects so long thanks for all the shoes, and I can play along to it. And it's a very straightforward, very fast, very, driving beat. But then I put on like Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes, which is technically kind of like the same like speed as far as drumming goes, but I can't lock in on it. There's something that Jord does that's a little different where I can't lock in on the beat, but I can perfectly lock in with Eric Sandin. It's really confusing to me, and I've never figured it out.
Yeah, I've played along to Today's Empires a couple times. Tried to. I've put it on, and like I know the songs well enough where I can kind of play along with it. But there's certain parts of those tunes where I'm like, man, like I'm trying to figure out like the accents or the timing of some of George's like hits, and then to the toms, and then back to the snare and cymbals. It's like, man, like I have to like rewind a few times to try and like listen to like how does he even hit that?
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah.
So how do you feel about like the fact that you can like just be like riding your bike around Winnipeg and it's like, oh look, there's Palmerston and Ruby Street. Do you like, do you make those connections whenever songs are about the place that you live? Like does that click with you like on any regular basis living there?
I would say so, especially even like Propaganda lyrics if they've ever come up. Some of their older tunes, like Fine Day,
Yeah.
talking about River Heights.
Yep.
Yeah,
Murals on West
call
Broadway.
before you dig. Murals in West Broadway. Like some of those tunes and some of those songs, you're like, yeah. So you kind of picture where they are, and you can kind of especially when Call Before You Dig came out, and looking that up on Google Maps, where I'm like, oh yeah, where? Because I knew where Palmerston was, but I was like, I didn't know. I was trying to see like where it intersected with Ruby, and so I'm like, oh wow, that's like that's not far. That's not that far. Like that's just like in the middle of. I guess would that be West Broadway as well, or
No, it's
um,
like right by that community
oh,
center.
it's like it's
God,
like it's like it's like Wolseley. It's like the Wolseley
Wolseley.
area, I
Yeah,
think.
it's Wolseley. There's like
Yeah.
there's that community center right there, and it's basically like kind of like a U. Like the
Hmm.
road kind of like bends down, and then it's just kind of like a sweeping bend almost where two roads intersect, but it's not like a super hard corner. It's kind of like you just kind of swoop through there.
Yeah.
And it was just such an interesting little intersection, because the roads aren't like at a right angle. You just kind of sweep from one end to the other.
That's right. If now that you say that, it's just like a little bend of a turn. It's like now you're on a new
Exactly.
street. You're like don't have to like there's I think there's a stop sign, but it's like it's not like a stop and like hey now this way. It's like oh I'm on a new street. So it's just like
Exactly.
it's a weird
And
setup.
it just changes names. It's super funny.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, Dylan, what a delight to chat about the new Clipwing record. Very, very pumped for all of you. you and the guys are. I'm looking forward to hearing that record, especially with the addition of you in like the band and like the sort of full length record. That's really
Yeah.
great.
I promised that it will be stayed before their very eyes. They died themselves, one hell of a surprise. The bodies and bones the workers found were dated early Holocene. You're nothing but the bottom of some far future latrine. My little libertine, that's your universe in a nutshell.